Hello, all my stash masters out there. Welcome back to Scrapping the Stash with Gail, Chronicles of the Craft Room. Today I'm going to show you how to use a Cricut leftover for a stencil, and I bet you can't guess what our layout theme is about. So this is going to be a stash busting layout because all of this stuff is ancient. These papers all came from a seasonal paper pad. So all of these papers here are leftovers from that paper pad for the 4th of July. Now this is just plain paper that I have. It's not cardstock. And then this is just a light blue cardstock that I picked up somewhere. I have my journaling, I have my pictures ready and printed out, and I have a very funny story to tell about this 4th of July. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the sketch that we're working with today. One thing that I do want to point out that anytime that you are working with a sketch, I want you to look past the sketch. You don't have to follow it exactly. There's a little bit of a travel theme going on here. That does not mean that you are stuck using this sketch for a travel theme. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to interpret this sketch today for a 4th of July layout. So let's go ahead and start with our photo layout. Now, I do not have a 5x7 like the sketch calls for. So already with the photo layout, I'm doing something different than the sketch implies. So I am just going to go ahead and put my pictures where the sizes that they're dictating on the sketch here. So there, sort of something like that. Now I'm going to have an additional picture over here. And then I have two 4x4s over here, but I don't have a 4x4 for this section. So I just made it a 3x4, which will actually make it very easy for me to put my journaling here because the sketch calls for the journaling to be here. And I had extra pictures of the volleyball and backyard games and only 4 pictures of the kids on the slip and slide. Now I am starting with this light blue cardstock. I go ahead and bring in these papers. Now, yes, they are very, very busy papers, but I am going to use them a little bit here. Now, this is the only piece that I have left of the fireworks papers. So I'm going to use it sparingly, and I'm kind of thinking that I am going to use it on this side for the band that's going to be coming across here. Now I also considered, you can see where the white spaces where these become bands here across the paper. So I also thought about possibly using that. So I may cut one of those and trial it since I have more of this paper, but I really want to use the fireworks paper. Then I have this star paper as well that I thought could easily be the bottom here, and I could put a piece of red or blue in between these two. Now there's going to be plenty of pictures over the top of this, so but I was kind of thinking that this may be too busy. But I really do like these stars. They're kind of doodle stars. They're stars that are pretty straightforward, and then they've got doodle lines around them. I just really like that feel. So I'm thinking I probably will end up fussy cutting those stars out and using them for embellishments, as well as some of these square hats. Lastly, that is what the red paper was pulled for. So I'm thinking that this is what this is going to look like going across both sides of my layout. So next I'm going to show you a trick that I've learned from years of scrapbooking and owning a Cricut. When you do cutouts or die cutting with your Cricut machine, you end up with what we call or refer to as a negative. So it's basically, this is what the Cricut cut out. And so now you've got this piece of paper on your mat that when you pull it off and reveal what your Cricut cut out on the mat, Now you have a negative space that you can use for stenciling. Now, I understand it's paper. This is cardstock. This will not last a long time, but it will work for my layout. And so I'm going to speed us up here. So hang on to your oh crap bar. So while I mess with this stencil, I want to tell you the funny story I promised earlier. So, this 4th of July party was in the backyard of our friends that we have lovingly entitled the Wolf Pack. And it wasn't very hot, but when we were playing backyard games like volleyball, we are not athletic by any means. And when my husband drinks any beverage, at the end of the can, he empties it by throwing his head back about 3 or 4 times while he's got the can to his mouth, so he gets every last drop. Now, the funny part is, he woke up with such a sore neck the next day, and we were trying all day to figure out why in the world his neck hurts so bad. Can you believe I found Star Spangled Blue? And then this real red ink pad from Stamping Up must be ancient because I've not seen it in anyone else's videos. I bought a whole bunch of them from a lady on Facebook Marketplace. Now, I wasn't planning on doing this next step, but as I was working on this, I was thinking, man, it'd be nice to get some white up there as well for red, white, and blue. Ha ha! I love when inspiration strikes you like lightning. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some modeling paste and I am going to attempt. Now, I say attempt because I don't know if it's going to work. I've never put modeling paste or texture paste um, through a paper stencil before. So what would it do? It ruin it? Okay, now I flip my paper over and do it again. Don't be afraid to try stuff. Fear is the enemy of progress. Okay, so you just need a gullet knives, I think. Um, and this is just a cheapy one that I got in a pack of like probably a brushes at the Dollar Tree. So no big deal. You do not need very much. Okay. In fact, that's probably a little too much. But I don't know what I'm gonna need, so I'm just gonna try this. So you've got your stencil down where you want it, and then you've got your modeling paste or texture paste. Just dip your palette knife down in there and get some. And then you are just, see, look at me holding this. I don't need to, but I'm going to. And then you just literally, just like you're buttering a piece of toast, just bring that paste right through that stencil onto your paper. Now you can go as light, heavy or as light as you want. I tend to go a little lighter because it dries quicker. Kind of an impatient person. Okay, that work actually worked just like a plastic. This is why you need the paper towel. Yes, and yes, I'm putting that right on my layout. It's fine. It'll all be fine. So then we're going to lift this up and we're going to look at the, oh, look at that. Oh my God, that's so cute. Not only does it bring the white, but now there's texture. So it almost adds like, it looks like this one is popping in front of these two. Love it. So I went ahead and put my background papers, glued them down. I did ink with that Star Spangled Banner blue from Close to My Heart. And then I did go ahead and add a couple more of the modeling paste firework in the background back here. So I went and I also went ahead and attached my photos so that I can begin the embellishment process. So let's go ahead and look at the sketch again. You can see at the top where the title is on the left-hand side, there is a tag and a circular element. I did go ahead and take some inspiration from those two items and used tags for my embellishments. And the circle, I just took that as a cue to use the fireworks that we stenciled on the background. And I went ahead and added what I cut out on the Cricut to the front of some tags. Then over to the right hand side in that top corner of the circular element that's there, just went ahead and used the fireworks over there as well. And because I used tags on the left hand side, I wanted to use tags on the right hand side as well. I did go ahead and add a subtitle down over by the journaling because that's where I am going to create my third cluster. So here you see the start of my embellishment clusters. Here's the title, Slip and Slide July 4th Vibe. This is that Cricut cut out that I just basically put on this tag and then the white tag over here to kind of make the fireworks come down onto the embellishment clusters. And then down here, I just cut cut the Independence Day word out of this paper that I had. So that is going to be my subtitle. So I plan to build a small third cluster down here close to the journal box so that it'll start over here and follow the visual triangle that I try to incorporate on all of my layouts. So I went ahead and fussy cut a lot of those stars from that paper that I showed you at the beginning. And I go ahead and cut the ones out that are, cut off by the edge of the paper too, because most of the time you're going to tuck them anyway, and it doesn't matter that they're cut off because you can camouflage that. So let's go ahead and add those stars in, as well as some of these hats. I am definitely grateful for this group of friends that we have. They actually the guys are um, friends of my husband's. They went to high school together. And then, of course, all the guys got married, and all of the wives actually get along very, very well. So, very, very blessed to have these type of people in my life. The other thing, because we are such good friends, is at this particular July 4th party, we also decided to plan a trip in the spring to go to Las Vegas together. And so we were throwing out dates, throwing out possibilities for hotels, all of those things. And my husband, being the competitive one of the bunch, decided he was going to be the first one to book the trip and kind of force everyone else's hand. And so it wasn't until I don't even remember when, but much later, like I think maybe even like winter time, he realized that he had either booked the wrong weekend with the hotel or booked the wrong flight or booked the wrong weekend for the flight. Craziness. And let's get back to the layout. As you can see, the struggle is real with these embellishment clusters. I think the reason being the stars were so much alike because I cut them from the paper that I had a really hard time balancing the matching ones within the clusters, as well as the size and the red on the blue and the blue on the red. And then with the second embellishment cluster all the way over to the right, I forgot to use one of the square hats. So I kind of had to tuck it in. Still not really liking where it is, but that's where it's staying. And then with this cluster I'm working on here, I started out with a line of stars underneath the title, and I just didn't really like the look of it. It almost looked like an unfinished banner. So definitely had to start over there as well. Phew. Now that was a lot of messing around with some fussy cut stars. Let's take a look at some close-ups so you can see exactly all of these awesome little details with the stars and the fireworks on both sides here. I just love how this modeling paste turned out. And all the stars. I even used some of the little itty bitty stars out here from that Cricut. And then here's the small cluster with my journaling. And let's put this together so you can see the total effect of the layout. I just love that. Now, if you enjoyed hanging out with me today, give this video a like, share it with a crafty friend, and maybe even subscribe for more stash busting fun. And if you're interested in some Black Friday deals, my Stampin' Up! Link is down there. Feel free to shop with me. You can get up to 40% off till December 1st while supplies last. Thanks for scrapping the stash with Gail. Bye-bye for now.